there, I'm here today to do a back to school tag just for my friends in Canada who are returning to school next week, or even this week, depending on when this goes up. I got this from a YouTube channel. I'll include a link below, but the original prompts were through a blog called A Little But A Lot blog, link also included below. And I just saw the prompts and thought this one would be a lot of fun, even though I am well past school age at this point, including post-secondary. So the first prompt is English, and it says, name your favorite book or author's writing style. I actually had a really hard time coming up with this one, but I ended up going with Jane Austen, a lot of hers, because one of my favorite books of all time is Pride and Prejudice, and I have largely enjoyed her other works that I've read. She just has this really unique and engaging writing style that is a mixture of like satire, but like also sweet. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy her stuff. Question 2 is math. Name a book that made you frustrated. I had a hard time with this one as well, but because I needed to narrow it down, and I had a hard time narrowing it down, I ended up going up with one that was a more recent read. I read it in January, I believe it was, and it was The People We Hate at the Wedding by Grant Ginder, and the premise was kind of interesting, but I just hated everybody in that book, and it made me so angry reading it. I was hoping for somebody's redemption, and I got nobody's redemption. 3 is science. Name a book that made you think. I've actually been reading a lot of nonfiction that's really been scratching this itch, so I really had a lot to pick from here. Going with Know My Name by Chanel Miller, just because as a woman there was a lot of things I related to, but as somebody who's never been sexually assaulted or raped, that was really eye-opening, and it really fostered in me a desire to be more forthcoming and supportive of people in those situations. 4, name a book, and name your favorite book from another time period. This is easy. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I know I used Jane Austen as 2 answers, but that's just how it gets to be. It be what it be. 5 is art. Pick your favorite book with pictures. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of manga. I have a handful of graphic novels, and I don't have a lot of books with dedicated art in them. But my favorite would probably be the One Punch Man series. I've mentioned it in another recent video, and it's a mixture of simple and hyper-stylized art that just really emphasizes the action and the personalities of the characters, and it's a lot of fun. 6, drama. Pick a book or series that you'd want made into a movie. The one I actually picked, there were both more and less answers than I expected when I was thinking about this quite seriously. And the big thing for me is that when I'm reading a book that I'm thinking about turning into a TV show, I think about what can be cut or what can be done as flashbacks, what can be done kind of as a clip, like a clip sequence. And what I ended up coming up with is The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. It is a thriller novel. You start the book off, this woman has died, and as you're kind of coming to present, you're rehashing the relationship between her and her daughter-in-law, and just the way it evolved and the way it was presented, and the way each of the characters were so different, but in some ways so similar, just really struck home for me, and I think it would make a really interesting TV miniseries, especially if they do justice to the development of this relationship between the mother and daughter-in-law. 7, music. Pick a character that you think has the same musical taste as you. I don't know, because I listen to a little bit of everything. I don't have a dedicated taste necessarily, and I don't think of that. My best guess was maybe Shalon from the Stormlight Archives, and even that is a guess at best. 8, lunch. Pick a book with food in it that you would want to make. That you'd love to make or love to try. I actually went with, I think the restaurant was called the Twice Lucky in the Jade City book. Minus the whole, like, clan gang territory thing, it just sounded like delicious food, and, like, the deep fried, was it squid or octopus? Sounded amazing. I'm not a huge fan of squid and octopus, but if it is crispy fried, it is in my books to try. 9 is Bus Ride Home. Pick a book or author that is very relaxing to you. I actually went with one that was a little bit off my beaten path. It's not typically a genre I talk about on here, and that is historical romance. The book I picked is The Sum of All His Kisses, and while it is sometimes problematic, as many historical romances can be, this one specifically just had a very sweet ending and very, like, genuine character development, and just really struck, like, a soft note with me that I go back to it again and again when I need a little help. The book is by Julia Quinn. I realized I didn't mention that. It's part of, not the Bridgerton series that's been really popular lately, but she's a smaller kind of offshoot series with another family, and I enjoy that one a little bit more. Then 10 is extra credit. Pick a book that someone ended up recommending to you, or that someone recommended to you that you ended up enjoying. I could do a lot of these. My mom recommends a lot of books to me growing up. My grandma actually recommended a lot of books to me. But the one I'm actually going to pick is one that wasn't even necessarily just recommended, but my good friend, who's still a good friend, gave it to me for my birthday. That is Secret History by Donna Tartt. I know it's not for everybody, and I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, but, like, the little bit of, like, unreliable narrator, dark academia, and just, like, the roots of where all of the decisions were coming from was just really intriguing to me at the time. And having read it again not that long ago, it's still one of, like, my most liked weird books. I don't know how else to describe it, because you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of in between. And that's it. That's all my prompts. That's all 10. Again, the links for the original and the YouTube channel I found this on are down below. For some reason, I didn't write down the YouTube channel, which makes me feel like a nut. I think this is not a YouTube, like a booktube channel, something like that. But I'll put it down in the link in the description box below for sure. If you guys have read any of the books I've named here, feel free to comment below. I'm more than willing to talk to you about them, or take any of the prompts that I said and tell me what books you think fit there for you. And with that, I will leave you here, and I'll see you in the next video.